All right, fellow aspiring profitable traders. Please, before we start, just a disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is not me telling you what to do with your capital. Your capital is your capital, and remember that trading leveraged instruments is always going to be a risk. So please apply risk management. I'm not saying that the strategies that I place out are going to work for you. I'm not saying the analysis is something that you should follow. The analysis is something that I decided to start doing to not only help myself out, but to help you guys out. Maybe you might understand the markets better than I do. Maybe I understand it better than you do, and we help each other out. This is the purpose of ITN Trades. It's trading for the everyday Joe, the average Joe looking to become a profitable trader. So, am I perfect? Are we the perfect traders? No, absolutely not. Do we take losses? Yes, absolutely we do. Do we make mistakes? Absolutely we do. But we do our best to become better every single day. Now, I'm going to do an analysis on gold, which is something that a lot of people trade. I'm going to do an analysis on USD, JPY. What can we do analysis on? Yeah, well, let's do USD, JPY, AUD, USD, something that I've been watching as well. And of course, we'll do the same for silver. So this is going to be a raw, off the top analysis for you guys, according to me. Now, okay, obviously, we're going to be starting on our, let's start with the daily time frame. Okay. So a few interesting things have happened. We've been in this strong, very strong uptrend. And, here at the all-time high, we saw massive selling pressure. This was the nomination of Kevin Walsh as the new Fed chair. So obviously the market took that and just went with the selling pressure. Now let's start with the technical analysis, shall we? So we can see that there was a little bit of a gap created here that is now acting as a level of support. Right, so that's a level of support. We can see as well that here at the 51, I think it's around the 5100, yeah. Around the 5100, we have our level of major resistance, right? Dropping down to the 4 hour, and this is always how I do my technical analysis, guys. Always how I do my technical analysis from the daily time frame all the way to maybe the 1 hour or the 30-minute time frame. The lower time frames are not that accurate, so I don't spend much time on them. Now, as we can see, when we had this sell-off, right here, we had this sell-off. We had a bit of a fake out to the downside, and we came back very strongly. This is the thing about that I've noticed about gold, is that it tends to have these massive drops or massive corrections, and then also corrects just as sharply, right? So something we should pay attention to. Now, to me, I remember taking a few trades here, making a little bit of money here on this move back up. But to me, for definite continuation here to the upside, and I do think that this has upside potential. I do think that in some sense, with these nice green candles here, we can have some upward pressure still. I think there's room to move here. Also, CPI this week coming in cooler than expected, right? And that's going to be a catalyst for gold, I personally feel, going forward. Now, if we were to see upside continuation, what would I personally be looking at? I would personally be looking at something like this happening. Where's my path? I would basically be looking at a break of this 5100 level, a retest of this 5100 level, and then continuation to the upside. Or we can have the situation where we basically retrace back to this level of support and then maybe continue up. Or we can have another situation where we simply continue breaking support to the downside. Now, if we are intraday traders, which I myself am, this is going to be very difficult for me to trade currently in this current condition where it's currently at. I really feel like I need to see a break of this 5100, a decisive break and close above 5100. We saw it reacting very strongly to this 5100 level here with this massive selling pressure, but then again it came back, and if we use our fib tool, we can see that it came back perfectly to this 50% fib level. So the 50% fib is also something that me personally, I'm going to be watching, right? I'm personally going to be watching. I always mark my fib levels yellow. This is something that I'm definitely going to be watching going into this week. So price created these wicks, so there's also liquidity sitting under here, a lot of sell side liquidity, right? That price can go and grab, possibly go and grab some liquidity here and catapult to the upside. This is just speculation at this time, guys, but yeah, this is what I'll be watching for on gold. Definitely be watching this fib level. We can even, if we are ready to get technical, so this 50% fib level, and we can see that there's a minor, very minor support level being formed at the 32% retracement as well. So we might keep an eye on that as well in the few hours to come with market open. All right, so moving on. Okay, moving on to silver, which is, to me, silver has not recovered as strongly as gold. And remember that silver essentially is used. It's not only a safe haven asset. It's not as popular as gold. It's more of industrial use, right? So to me, this chart is a bit sketch. Now we've had the same selling pressure as we saw on gold, right? Almost an identical selling pressure pattern that we saw on gold. Now, for clear levels, I'm going to drop down to the 4 hours. So we grabbed quite a bit of liquidity under these lows here. So this would be my support level. As we can see, prices reacted very strongly to this zone. A number of times tested this zone, right? Reacted to this particular zone here at 70. This is around the 70 mark, right? Now, what's interesting for me here, we also can see that we have a level of resistance up here, definite level of resistance, strong selling pressure coming in at this level here. This is about at the, what is it, the 92.93, 92 level, around there. This is going to be definite our short-term level of resistance, and then obviously we're stuck between these two zones. But what I want to point out here, for me personally, is we had this strong selling pressure, this rebound, and what we can see now is kind of a consolidation. So price is deciding. We can either see something like this, right, where we break to the upside, or we can continue from here and break to the downside, right? Those in my book are two scenarios that we can see. Let me just mark my support level here with green and this resistance level with red. I always like to do that. Then we can mark our high here, right? Now, prices already went for a liquidity sweep here. It can possibly go back to this sweep, some more liquidity, and go up again. Now, what I wanted to point out is this contraction. Normally when I see something like this falling wedge here, that signifies to me personally that selling pressure may be fading slightly. It may need some liquidity to push to the upside still, so it can still decline, or it can still break these lows and invalidate this falling wedge. But me personally, guys, this is the same story. It's stuck between this 92 level and the 70 level currently. It's consolidating between those two levels. If we drop down to the hourly time frame, I don't really see where I can currently. In fact, this may actually happen. It may, right? This may actually happen because this to me is printing a bear flag. But anyway, currently not really interested in any entries here. I don't see a clean entry except if we bounce back to this level, grab some more liquidity, or we break decisively above this 92 level and continue up. For me, in between, it's kind of in no man's land at the moment. I think you're gonna get stopped out either way if you enter now. But yeah, this is if we drop on the 30-minute, we can also see this bear flag is quite clear, but it might be invalidated. I don't see any clear demand zones except this one. Price might be forming a minor support level here, but I wouldn't trust that one. So me personally, this is my analysis on silver. So once again, I think we need to decisively either test this level again, move to the upside, break this level, move to the upside, or we can test this level and it becomes resistance and we can move to the downside. But central bank buying still there. I believe they're still buying precious metals as we speak. So I don't think the rally is necessarily over, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see. So that was okay. Moving on to USD JPY. So USD JPY currently. Now there's been a lot of positives for the yen, and the yen has strengthened over the past couple of days. In fact, now what I can firstly see from a technical standpoint is that this is a major level of support here at 150. Was this 155.50? Around there, that's a major level of support. This is also where the gap was filled here, guys. This gap was here. The gap got filled, so this would be my support level, major support level currently. We can also see a support level being formed here, right, at around the 152-200 level, right? 152-200 level, I would say, is a nice support level here. Now, as you can see, price reacted, price faced some selling pressure, reacted very strongly, right? Reacted a number of times. Here it reacted with strong buying pressure, reacted with strong buying pressure again. It's gonna retest it again. It may break it, it may respect it. We are going to have to see. It may go do a liquidity grab, a fake out, and may go to the upside once again. Let me mark out my current supply zones, which are going to be this one. As we can see, strong selling pressure from this level, and also our supply zone up here, right? This is at our is this an all-time high? Yeah, no, it's not an all-time high. Oh, it is actually. No, it isn't. Very close to it though. All right, so in terms of what I can see here, we're also consolidating a bit. If we were to get technical and we were to draw a fib on the weekly, we can see this is actually a very good level. This might be a very good level to buy, but as I can see, also it might break. So either the 0.382 level on the fib or the 0.5 level on the fib, it might be a decent buying opportunity according to me. But let's see what this week holds. Let me drop down to the 4 hour. And what I like about this, what I like to see about this is the RSI is currently in oversold territory. Oh my goodness, what did I do now? The RSI is currently in some oversold territory. Right, in some major oversold territory, as you can see here. It dipped under 30 here, and what happened? We got this divergence. Right? As soon as we got this divergence, we moved to the upside. I can see the same thing happening here, possibly. But as we once again say, stick to your analysis, stick to your ideas. This is just my idea. We can also, if you drop down to the 30, we can see the price is still currently correcting on the pullback. So I wouldn't be interested in buys until it at least breaks this trend line, or it gives me confirmation at the support level of 152. Right, that's going to be our major support level to watch out for. No breaks or structure to the upside yet, no clear confirmation yet. So we will have to wait for this bear. Another one that I've been looking at, very interesting chart here, is AUD USD. Now AUD USD, the Aussie dollar has been pretty strong in the recent weeks. We can see, right, it has this strong, very strong uptrend, this long-term trend line here we can draw. You can actually draw a second trend line, technically speaking, here, right? But this one I would respect more than this one, right? We also had a gap here, right? That's going to be acting as a major level of support. In fact, price tested this area multiple times, moved up with very strong buying pressure, which indicates to me that that is where buyers, definitely institutions, are buying here. Now, what's interesting here is that price has actually broken out of its consolidation. It's been consolidating for a while. It broke outside of this consolidation and is now busy retesting, and we can see some lower wicks here, which indicate to me that there are some buyers at this level. Now, we also close by overhead have a strong supply zone, right? We can see some major selling pressure occurring in this level. If we were to draw fib levels, as I always like to do, 0.382 to a 0.5 retracement, it might be worth buying. Now, what can possibly happen is it can dip all the way, do a liquidity sweep, and then head back up. It can. But nothing is a guarantee in this game, as you guys know by now. So this is a definitely level I would be looking out for, this 0.704 level, 0.705, 0.704 level as a recent level of support. Now, if we drop to the hourly, what can we see? Right, so there's already been a bit of a reaction, but I do think that there's some more liquidity sitting under these lows that it can possibly go and sweep. We can also see that there's a very minor little demand zone sitting just beneath these lows. So it might go for a liquidity sweep here and then go up. But we will have to wait and see, as per usual. I do like the looks of this, though. I do think that there's some strength here. On the daily, if we do a fib on the daily, we can also see that's a 38.2 retracement. So it might move up on market open, but we'll have to wait and see, guys. I'm not seeing any confirmation on the smaller time frames. I like to enter on the 5-minute or the 15, and I'm not seeing. I think on the lower time frames, I'd like to see it in oversold territory. Like this would have been a good entry zone for me. but it might go ahead and test these zones again. And then, so that's going to be my idea moving forward. Let's do one more pair. All right, something a lot of people also like to trade is GJ, right? GBP, JPY. Yeah, this chart, let me just see. All right, so, I mean, we are looking pretty decent. I think we do have some considerable strength to the upside still on this one. Now, in terms of new entries for me, if I look at this chart, we can see that we've faced some weakness here. Definitely faced some weakness. However, we are currently very close to this institutional demand. As we can see, this is definitely a demand zone, right? Price has reacted here and pushed up very strongly from this level. This 20, what is this? This is 207 level, 207.1 level. It looks like a very, very strong level of support. And as we can see here, if we drop down to the smaller time frames, you can definitely see that there was a reaction to this zone. So this is going to be a definite demand zone for me. Definitely going to be looking at some reactions here. There might be liquidity sitting under these lows as well. If we move to our top side, we can see that this triple top kind of formed here. This was at the 215, 214.5 level, major level of supply. I do still like this to the upside. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I do still like this to the upside. Right there's also a level of support there, testing very nicely. If we go back to the daily, and okay, so I'm not seeing a clear level that we can use the fib at. Maybe here, this would be better. Yes, take it from this low to this low. We can see that we're currently testing the 50% Fibonacci level, which might be very interesting. Now, it can also break this current level of support and continue to the downside. It is also possible, but I do like this chart. I do like this chart. On the smaller time frames, though, I'd like to drop a little bit more into the zone and then continue up, because currently there's no entry for me. Currently on the lower time frame, it's still a little bit too choppy for me. Like, as you can see here, it's still a little bit too choppy. I'd like to see it dip down a bit further, and then hopefully we can get our entry. We still have this downtrend until it breaks this trend line to the downside, or if I have a clear close above it. That's when I'll maybe take this trade. But for now, I'm going to be waiting. I'm going to be waiting for this level of demand right there to be mitigated, and then maybe we can move up. All right, guys, so that was a simple chart analysis for the week ahead. If there's something else that you want me to analyze in the future, and remember that I'm going through this journey with you guys. As much as you guys are trying to understand the markets and are trying to be profitable in this game, so am I. So obviously I still have a smaller account, but I have been becoming more profitable in the past couple of weeks, and it's because of the fact that I've been paying more attention, been following more rules, been setting my own rules, but not breaking the rules. And that's what you got to do. You got to trust your analysis. You got to stick to your rules, not break your rules. And if you break your rules and you lose, then it's your fault. But if you followed your rules and you still lose, then it's just one of those things, bro. Anyway, guys, make sure you are subscribed to the International Trading Network, and I'll see you next time.